it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos it's because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and staying consistent on your morning routine is your ticket to success. Enjoy! Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Have a good morning routine.
Staying consistent on your morning routine is the difference between you having a good life and a great life. The life that you're living right now, which is good. Listen, you have a good life right now. If you're watching this, you have internet, you have food, you have a place to sleep tonight. You have a pretty good life. You have a pretty good life, but it's not a great life. You know you're capable of more. You know you want to do more. You know that where you are right now is not where you want to be. That imagine a year, 2 years, 5 years. Imagine if you were still in the same spot in 5 years. Imagine your life, your health, your relationships, your finances, the impact you're having, your routine, your daily, like what you're doing on a regular, and nothing has changed in 5 years. It'd still be a good life, but it's not a great life, right? It's not a great life. This is the struggle, that you know you're capable of so much more. If you didn't know you're capable of more, ignorance is bliss. You just keep living your life. But when you know you're capable of more, this is the curse of the achievers. Like, you know you're capable of so much more. No matter how much people look at you and say, hey, wow, you're doing so well, you're doing so much. That's why you're watching these videos. You are the most ambitious person that you know. People look to you for guidance and wisdom, advice and support and encouragement and hope and inspiration. Like, you're the one filling other people up. You're the one inspiring other people to do better, to be more, to go after their dreams. That's you, but who's doing that for you? You know you're capable of so much more. And so how do you get it? How do you do the work? Well, it's a daily thing. This is part of the challenge. It's a daily thing. It gets boring. It gets boring to do the exact same thing every day, to stay consistent on what you said you were going to do. And we start to doubt ourselves. You have days where you're motivated, inspired, ready to take on the world, feeling amazing, and other days where you don't feel so good, and you wake up feeling like, who am I? I can't do this. What I said I was going to do that. You look at your goals like, I'm going to do that. There's no way I'm going to do that. Me? I'm going to stay in bed. It's the thing achievers don't talk about, is there's a lot of days when you just don't feel like you're worthy of it. You don't believe in yourself. You don't think that you can do it. And it's just that consistency that prevents you from doing the thing. Because you have the days when you're on fire, and then entire days, maybe weeks sometimes, where you're just not doing anything. And so how do you keep that momentum? How do you keep that consistency? It starts with a morning routine. And the goal of a morning routine is to help you feel motivated, bold, courageous, ready to take on the day. That's what the goal of a morning routine is. Everybody's got a morning routine. If you're watching this, you got a morning routine. Everybody doesn't have a morning routine. Most people actually wake up like an accident, right? Most people wake up and they fall into their day and they look at their phone and it's other people's emergencies and other people's demands for your time. That's most people's day. But for you, if you're watching this, you're an achiever and you have some kind of morning routine. But most people's morning routine are also broken because you're not doing it consistently enough, or you're not doing it with enough intent. So if you ask, what's the goal of a morning routine? The goal of a morning routine is to get you bold and prepped and ready for the day. Let me ask you this. If you were to, for the next year of your life, right? 365 days, the next year of your life, you're gonna wake up and do something that would make you feel bold, powerful, courageous, motivated. Not asking you to wake up feeling bold, powerful, courageous, motivated, but to wake up tired, however you wake up. I woke up tired today. You wake up and then you do something that will help you feel bold, powerful, motivated, courageous, and ready to take on the day. If you woke up and did that for the next 365, how much does your life change? How much does the next year change? How much does the impact that you're making, does the actual momentum that you're taking towards your goals, how much does that change if in the next year you actually did that? It should be tremendously, it should be dramatically, because no matter how much you're doing your morning routine, one, you're probably not super consistent on it, and two, you're not getting the feeling even if you are. That's what needs to change. I was in New Mexico and I was doing, on Super Bowl Sunday, my workshop. And it was the smallest group on our tour. And we were talking about morning routines. And there was a woman there and I asked her, what's the most important part of your morning routine? And she said, prayer. I said, so you pray, how often do you pray? Every day, every day, every day. She prays, perfect. How often do you feel the prayer? How often do you feel the connection? And how often are you just saying the words? And she said, like half the time. Great. Other people might look to her and say, well, look, you do it every day. Even for herself, she might look at herself and say, great, I did it every day. As achievers, we like to check the box, right? You like to check the box, say, I did it, I did it, I did it, I did it, I did it. I prayed, I watched the video, I read the book, I brushed my teeth, whatever. You have your checklist and you did it, right? And you feel great that you did it. But if you don't get the feeling of courageousness and you just check the box, it doesn't count. So watching a video might be part of your morning routine. Great, I'm, if it's mine, I'm honored to be a part of your journey. If it's somebody else's, amazing, do that too. But if you know that watching a video is the thing that helps make you feel alive, bold, confident, you know that there are some days that watching a video actually makes you feel that way, and other days where it doesn't. And you know that watching the same video over and over and over and over every day will lose its impact super quick, right? Day one, you're motivated. Day two, already you've lost like 80% of the motivation that you got from day one. Day three, it's basically over. You run it for a month, forget it. Like you've already memorized the words, that the words don't mean anything to you anymore. So you have to have some variety. And if you're watching a video while you're doing something else, this is the achiever's curse. You're watching a video while you're brushing your teeth, while you're taking the dogs out, while you're cleaning the sink, while you're making the bed. You're distracted, you're doing something else, you're trying to multitask, right? Here's what happens to the achievers. You still get to check the box to say that you watched the video. But because you weren't present for the video, guess what happens? There was no retention. There was no feeling. You don't feel ready to take on the day. You don't feel the boldness, the courageousness, and therefore you don't go and have a great day, even though you checked off everything on your morning routine. That's what makes a difference. So if you get to the end of your morning routine and you don't feel bold, powerful, courageous, ready to go for the day, there's one of two things that you have to do. One is you audit your morning routine. You say, what's missing? Does this still work for you anymore? What's missing? Do I need to add something in? Do I need to add an espresso video in during the morning? Do I need to add reading? Do I need to add working out? Do I need to add writing my goals down? Like, what do you need to do to add and tweak and experiment and see if it makes you feel better? Or two, maybe you just need to do the routine again, but with more intention. Maybe you did the whole routine while you were distracted. Maybe you did the whole routine while you're thinking something else. So you don't get the feeling. There's nothing wrong with the routine. The routine is great. The routine is perfect for you. But if you don't show up with intention, if you don't show up and be focused on it, you're not going to get the feeling. You could sit there and be in the chair. Think about going to classes, going to school. You could sit there and be in the chair. It doesn't mean that you're going to learn. You could sit there and watch a video, but if you're brushing your teeth and doing 8 other things, you're not going to get the feeling. This is the loving push forward that I hope you accept. Because everybody else is going to look at you and see how much you're doing and how perfect you are and how much momentum you have and how many things you're doing, and they look up to you in awe, and you're an inspiration to them. And you should be, because you are doing amazing things. And at the same time, it's nothing compared to what you could do. But the difference between where you are right now and where you want to go is actually not that big. The difference is just minor tweaks between where you are right now and where you want to go. For most of you, it's just minor tweaks. This is one of those minor tweaks. That if you could just stay consistent on having a morning routine, and then inside of that consistency, doing the thing that makes you feel bold, powerful, unstoppable, alive, ready to start the day, not expecting to be amazing when you wake up, but then doing the thing that brings that out of you every single day, your life will change.
Rule number 2, have a schedule.
I never use "I don't have time" as a reason for not to do something. I'm allergic to it. As soon as you start saying, "I don't have time to do something," then you're giving responsibility away to something else, right? You don't have time. It's not your fault. You just don't have the time. It's somebody else's fault. It's this project's fault, this person's fault. It's always somebody else's fault. Until you take control of your responsibilities and your priorities and managing your own time, you're never going to go off and do the big things that you want to do. Especially for the people who complain that you have this big goal and this big dream, you want to build this huge company, and then you're not doing it. You're not spending the time to do it. Because it's so great to live up in our heads of all the things that we want to do, of the passions and the way that our life could look, but you don't want to do the actual work to get there. And now I get it. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I have 3 businesses that I run at the same time, I'm a busy guy, but if I want to work on something and I can't, then it's my problem, right? It's nobody else's problem. It's not you guys, it's not Believe Nation expecting my video to come out. I choose to make YouTube videos. I choose to do 3 a day. I choose to spend my time on these things. And by very definition, by choosing to do something, you're choosing not to do something else. I have control. You have control over your time as well. And there are realities of paying the bills and family life and all of that stuff. And it may force you to make some difficult decisions. But as soon as you say, I don't have time, it means you're never gonna make it. Because you're never gonna have time. There's the people who constantly live in when this clears up, right? When this thing goes away, then I'll have time. And then when that clears away, something else comes up. When that's done, then I'll have time. And then you never have time. It's never the perfect time. You just have to go and start doing it. Nothing actually starts happening until you put it into your calendar and you start taking action. Otherwise, you're just living in your head and those dreams never come out. And so I would encourage you to, anytime you say, I don't have time, to catch yourself and say, I choose not to make it a priority. This is not a priority in my life. When you start embracing that and actually feeling it, then you'll start making some important decisions on how you schedule your time. Start to think what actually is a priority to you. Start making some tweaks, and you'll start to see some big changes happening in your life and in your business. Now, to Tim's point about creating a schedule, one of the things that I find really helpful is chunking my time. I've talked about this before, but I like having dedicated days to do dedicated things. So, I film once a month for my YouTube channel for the most part, and we come in on a Wednesday and film everything in one sitting. And I'm in video mode. I find it really hard to switch tasks. I think most people do, but I just find it really hard. I can't go from meeting with somebody for half an hour to then writing a book for half an hour to then getting on a phone call for half an hour to then recording the video for half an hour. The switching costs are too high. If I'm gonna write my book or do something else that's really creative, I need half an hour to 40 minutes just to get into it before I'm actually really creating something good. It's why when I make my videos here, I start with the easy stuff first, and then I lead to the espressos, because it allows me to warm up, to get going. If I had to come in and boom, just drop an espresso, it'd be a lot more challenging for me. And so anything you do multiple times per week, try to do once per week, multiple times per month, once per month, and so on. Multiple times per day, once per day, right? Like email, social media, if you're doing that all day long, do that once per day. It means that you miss out on some small things. It means that you miss out on getting some opportunities. Maybe some reporter wants to interview you and has a deadline by 3 p.m. today, and you don't open that email till 5 o'clock, you've missed it. But you have to be willing to let go of the little to be able to go for the big. And I used to pride myself as the guy who responded to email super fast. You send me an email, like 2 minutes later, boom, response. I would drop whatever I was doing to respond to your email. And what it meant was I was doing lots of little tasks really quickly, but I never got to focus on the big tasks because I kept getting distracted. And so by chunking your time and by blocking off access in your calendar, it means you'll have to say no to some things, some little projects. Some things will slip through, but you're spending your time on the big projects that matter. And so it's been probably the single most important time management skill practice that I've applied is chunking your time, having one main thing that I do every single day. So, Wednesday is recording YouTube videos, and when I'm not doing that, it's my Lily day, where we're looking at her channel. Thursday is my public-facing day, and we're doing interviews and podcasts and radio shows and YouTube channels and just extrovert mode. Monday is my TDS day, so I'm here, I'm working with Alex, we're working through all the problems that we have to do at TDS, looking at opportunities where we're gonna grow. I'm just in TDS mindset, right? And so every day I'm doing something else. But it also means I will delay some things. So if it's something TDS related and Alex sends it to me on Tuesday, I'm probably not gonna get it to next Monday. And so part of that is training the team to say, hey, we gotta get it done on time so I can handle it at the right moment. But also means that sometimes we may miss windows of opportunities because I haven't seen it. And it's not gonna come up again till Monday. And being okay with that. Being okay with dropping some small balls so you can keep the big ones in the air.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below.
And so I think an easy way to do it is actually to start documenting the process along the way.
Find whatever the smallest first step is, and then the smallest next step is, and continue to build those steps. And when you look back, you'll have realized that you made some pretty significant progress.
And what you need to do is inoculate yourself against the judgment and learn to take action on your ideas, because the alternative is a life filled with regret.
Rule number 4, push yourself to the extreme.
I'm gonna go way counterculture on this one. I don't think you need to beat the sun up to have success. What matters is that you're productive, that you get results, that you stop wasting time. Too many people default to thinking that if they just wake up an hour earlier, they're gonna be way more productive. If you're not productive in a 16-hour day, what makes you think that you're gonna be more productive in a 17-hour day when you have less sleep? So this is a interesting message and timing for me right now, because I love beating the sun up. I love it. I love working. Like, it's my default state. If Nina is off on a Friday night with her friends or something, 80% chance I'm working. I love it. I look forward to it. When I go close my eyes, I can't wait for it to be the next day. Like, I'm pumped to go off and do the work. I recently did a sleep study, and my doctor was concerned I wasn't getting enough quality sleep. So I went to go do a sleep study, and the doctor, after going through the results, told me that I need to be sleeping 8.5 hours to 9 hours a night. And it like super disappointed me. 8.5 hours to 9 hours? Are you kidding me? I was trying to go from 8 to 7. I was waking up after 8 hours sleep and feeling still a little bit tired. And so that's why my doctor recommended even going to the sleep study. And I'm trying to figure out, how do I hack it to get down to 7 and still be fully functional, not be, lazy and slow and not having my cognition. And yeah, he said I need to be sleeping 8.5 to 9 hours a night. And he said, is that normal? Like, are you not worried? He's like, no, as long as you're under 10, it's normal. People range from 6 to 10 and they're totally fine. Like, this sucks. I mean, I'm not happy about it. I'm still looking at how can I hack my sleep more, and we've tried a lot. I have the chili pad. We've got, meditation before sleeping. I'm lying on the bed of nails with the thing behind me, the pillow, the nail pillow. No, phones or computers X amount of time before going to bed. Red light filters on everything. Red lights, no lights at all in the place, right? Like, just these real red lights glowing around after sunset. Lots of it. Cool down the temperature, I don't know, all of it. Don't eat past 8 o'clock, no caffeine past 2 o'clock, all of it. I'm doing all of that stuff, all of it, right? Plus probably a lot more stuff. I've studied and hacked away. I still believe there's a lot more hacking. I still want to get it from 9 to 7. But if I'm at 9 and I need 9, I think you should get 9. I'm at the point now where if I wake up and the sun is still not up, I stay in bed. And that's actually boosting of confidence. It's like, okay, so I wake up and sun hasn't come up yet. Okay, this is hard. This is difficult. It's difficult for me to not get out of bed. I'm gonna stay in bed just because. Now, I'm a weird duck, so maybe this works for you, maybe it doesn't. But I was having a great conversation with Jeremy, who's on my team, who I've invested in his business. He's helping companies scale their YouTube channels. And he was going through the same thing where he was feeling a little tired in the afternoon. He wanted to nap on some afternoons, and that's never been me. So, dude, you just try waking up without an alarm. And normally he's up at 4:30 in the morning or something. So just wake up without an alarm and see how it goes. And he ended up sleeping for 9 hours. and hating himself for doing it. It's like, dude, maybe you need 9 hours. Like, much more important than that extra hour or two is what are you doing during the day? If you're losing energy during the day and you want to nap every afternoon, you're not being productive. Like, there's no way. Sleep and be productive. You need sleep to win. I think everybody should get a sleep test. I think it's a brutal experience. You barely sleep, right? When you're there, you got stuff up your nose and a million sensors all over you. But to know how much sleep you actually need, and making sure that you're productive during the time that you are awake. That's the most important thing. That you are productive during the time that you are awake is way more important than if you wake up before the sun gets up. Okay, so how can you do it? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is fix your calendar. Fix your calendar. You got to make sure that you're productive. Make sure that your actions map to your ambitions. The reason why so many people say wake up early is because your evening hours for many people are not productive. Because when you wake up, you're more likely to be productive and you're gonna do your work, you're gonna get on your morning routine, you're gonna feel like you got a kickstart on the day, you're gonna go off and start to crush it. Where if you're staying up late at night, you're gonna find yourself playing games or watching Netflix or doing things that aren't productive, right? Like waking hours, make sure you're productive. Put it in your calendar, you're waking up around this time, right? How are you gonna spend your morning routine? What does that look like? And then what are you gonna do? And mapping it out. So that when you can step above your calendar and look at the week and the month that's ahead, you say, if I did these things that's in my calendar, I'm gonna be more successful. I'm gonna be closing in on my goals, right? Your actions map to your ambitions. So you create your calendar and then you go and live it. And then you go and do it. The most important thing, again, isn't making sure you're up before the sun. It's making sure that you're doing the things that you said you were gonna do, and the things that you said you were gonna do are gonna lead you to accomplishing the success that you wanna have. You have to be more productive and fix your calendar. Step number 2 is understand how much sleep you actually need, right? I've heard it, I guess, before, but I didn't really buy it until I went and did the sleep study. And again, I'm still trying to hack it. I still believe I can get it lower. Even if I go from 9 to 8, that's amazing. But I have to be fully refreshed. I have to be ready to start my day. And so understand how much sleep you need, right? Here's a challenge for tomorrow. Don't set an alarm and see what time you wake up. And if you sleep an extra hour and you feel more refreshed, like you're probably living in a massive sleep deficit for you. And so maybe you need 7 hours, or maybe you need 8 hours, or maybe you need 9 hours. And if you need a lot more than that, then maybe, there's a problem, you gotta go get it fixed. I was hoping that you could give me, if I had sleep apnea, amazing. My problem with sleep apnea, awesome, give me the machine, I'll sleep with it every night, I'll sleep 7 hours and I'll go and crush it. It's like, no, you don't have sleep apnea. You don't have any deficiencies. I did a bunch of blood tests, no deficiencies. There's nothing actually wrong with you. You just need 9 hours sleep. It just tears me apart. But you have to figure out how much sleep you need. Because again, sacrificing 1 hour of sleep and being tired all day is not gonna make you more productive. Understand how much sleep you need and then factor that into your calendar, factor that into your life so you can be happy, you can be fulfilled, you can have energy, and you can go and crush your goals. And then step number 3 is work to your rhythm. Some people work better at night than they do during the day, right? Again, as I said earlier, the reason why so many people advocate for a morning start is because at night, most people aren't productive. At night, you're losing time. At night, you're watching Netflix and playing games and doing things that aren't in supportive of your mission, right? Listen to Grant, though. He goes to sleep at 9. Grant Cardone goes to sleep at 9 and he wakes up before the sun comes up. He's getting enough sleep to do it, right? But your best productivity might be at 9. Like maybe you don't even turn on until 9. Maybe you should be working from 9 until 4 in the morning. I don't know, right? Work to your style. Because if you try to be somebody else and you try to work to a different style that's not suited for you, you're not gonna win. It's more difficult if you're working from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. How many hours is that? 10, 11, 12, that's 7 hours, right? If you're working from 9 to 5 the other way, that's gonna be hard to do meetings. That's gonna be hard to have team calls. That's gonna be hard to scale up your business, right? It'll be difficult because most people don't wanna work for a midnight meeting with you. But if that's where you are your most creative and that's where you get the most productivity out of you, then you need to factor that in. If you're more of a night owl and you're gonna work every night, you're gonna move forward on your ambitions every night, then don't beat yourself up because you didn't get up before the sun came up.
Rule number 4, push yourself to the extreme.
People don't push themselves to the extreme. They just don't. It's because it's too hard. It's too crazy hard that you're not likely to do it on your own. And so I think when those opportunities come, learning to embrace them, learning to take them on, learning to say, this is my chance to show myself and the world what I am made of. This is my chance. But is it still your limit? So let me give you a couple examples. This morning, I woke up and I didn't have a lot of sleep. I went to bed at 3 something last night. I woke up at 7:20 this morning. I turned off the alarm, but still woke up at 7:20. Force a habit. And I'm not on a lot of sleep, and I need to make a bunch of videos for you guys. And I want to bring my best, and I put pressure on myself that every video needs to be my best. I want it to be better. I want to grow. I don't want to just do the same thing over and over and over again. But it's a challenge. And so it's easy to say, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I don't have energy. Oh, I wish I slept more. Or an excuse after excuse. But no, I'm going to go do it. And here I am. And I've made, I don't know how many videos already today. I'm closing in on finishing up, and I still have energy, and I'm pumped for how it went. And the story I'm telling myself is I'm awesome. Like, I had very little sleep. It's not how I want to be living every day. But when that happens, what do you do? How do you stand up? How do you show yourself what you're made of? But even that is not the biggest extreme. You know, like, I feel like I'm capable of way more. My tour was the most that I'd ever pushed myself. Not just mentally, not just facing fears, but physically pushing myself. Where I broke my neck in 2 spots. I had a concussion. I've never had a concussion before. It was wild. Don't wish it on anybody if you haven't experienced it yet. Had 3 staples in my head. I compressed my spine. It was brutal. And I had to cancel my event in Denver where I was because it was that night. And then the next one was going to be in Kansas City. This is what I wore for 60 days. I wore these and I took them off for 10 minutes a day. 60 days, right? Like, this is what I'm made of. This is what I'm capable of. I'm complaining about having 4 hours sleep. I had my neck broken and continued on my tour. Across the US for 30 more days and another 30 days here in Toronto, seeing entrepreneurs sitting in pain at the front of the room with ice packs and pillows and not quitting and going home, even though I was in massive pain. Like, this is who I am. And I'm complaining about not having sleep the night before, right? Like, perspective. The greatest point on the tour for me was in Kansas City. It was my next stop. We refunded everybody the money because I wasn't going to be able to go for 3 hours, but I said, hey, we already booked this hotel venue. You guys already booked your night off. Why don't you just come out anyway? Just come on out and I'll go for an hour and take pictures and say hi and just show some Kansas City love. And I showed up and we went for an hour and a half. And then my wife pulled me off because my lips were starting to get dry because I wasn't being able to, answer questions as clearly as I'd like because I was still suffering from the concussion. The neck pain is one thing. That's just sitting still. I can't do anything about it. But the concussion, you're not supposed to think. You're not supposed to have conversations. It makes the recovery worse. And so she was watching me like a hawk the whole night. She's watching me. And then she sees me start to fade. She's like, okay, that's it. I got to take Evan home. Quick pictures and we got to go. I've never been pulled off a stage before. Never for sucking or definitely for a physical issue. Never. It's never happened. This was me at my physical limit. That was it. I was done. I had actually nothing left. Like, somebody had to come and say, you are done. The best, right? I mean, it sucked, but at the same time, it's like, man, this is it. I got to the edge. I got to the physical limitation. I can't go anymore. I'm being told I need to step down. And there's something so amazing that you feel about yourself that you were able to go that far. Now, you don't want to do that every day. You want to take care of your health. Of course. Don't do stupid things. And at the same time, the pride, the feeling of awesomeness that you hit that mark, I can't explain. So I started telling the people around me, my wife, my agent, the people on the tour, that we're planning a 2020 tour, and it's not gonna be as good. This will be great. We're gonna hit 23 cities, 90 days, East Coast, Texas, Mexico, Montreal. It's gonna be fun, but it won't be as good because I'm not gonna break my neck, right? I'm not gonna forcefully go break my neck just because, right? That's stupid. Don't do that. don't go do that just because. And so I'm not going to face the same challenge. And so the point is, I'll still have a great time. It'll still be amazing. But what we went through, what I had to go through in 2019, this year, is foundational. Like, I'm gonna remember this forever. This is who I am. This is who I am. Not the guy who thinks that 4 hours sleep and making some videos is a big deal, right? It just resets who you are and reminds you if you step up to the challenge of what you're capable of.
Rule number 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip, work hard and smart.
Too many people think that the secret to success is just waking up an hour earlier. If you weren't productive with the 16 hours that you are awake, what makes you think that by adding a 17th hour when you are more tired is actually going to make a difference? The problem is that you're losing too much time during the day. We're going to fix that in this video. So I'm constantly looking at how I can work smarter. I'm constantly looking at how I can hack myself, hack my schedule to get more done, be more productive, be more efficient, and work towards building the life that I want to continue to build. This week is actually a great example. I've made a change in my calendar this week where I've always done different things on different days. Where, Monday's my mentoring day, and Tuesday's my YouTube day, and Wednesday's my project day, and Thursday's my interview public facing day, and Friday is my CEO day, and Saturday is my fun day, and Sunday is my family admin day, right? And that's what happens every day, as long as I'm here in Toronto and not, speaking or on tour somewhere. I made a shift where I was reading an article over the weekend talking about how some people are better in the morning at being in research mode, in intellectual mode, in planning mode, and better in the afternoon at more creative mode, talking to people mode. And I resonated with that. Even when I make these videos, I've shifted over the past couple weeks to making my videos in the afternoon. I find when I make my videos in the afternoon, I have more energy, it's more fun, I look forward to it more. And when I make a video in the morning, I have to force myself to bring the energy more. So in the morning, I'm less energetic, I'm less outgoing, I'm less willing to talk to people, and I'll do it if I need to, but I'd much prefer doing it in the afternoon. And so now I'm applying that across all of my days as much as possible. So in the morning chunk, I'm spending my time doing planning and researching and intellectual and data gathering and processing. And in the afternoon is when I'm spending my time doing Instagram lives and making videos and meetings and talking to people and mentoring and that kind of stuff. And so it's a test, it's an experiment that I'm going through right now. And so far, I'm kind of liking it. I don't know if I'm going to make it prescriptive yet and if I'm going to apply it to everything yet, but so far I'm really liking it. And I think that's constantly the hack, because hard work is important. You have to work hard. Hard work though is just your ticket in. It's not enough just to work hard. There's lots of people who work hard but then don't accomplish anything, who don't ever get their goals or dreams. There's people who just work smart, and that's not the ticket either, right? Just working smart is not enough either. It's that combination of working really hard, but working on the right things that move your business forward. So how can you identify those right things? How can you make sure that you're working both hard and smart? I've got a 3-step process that I follow that I'm going to share with you in this video. Step number 1 is make sure your actions map to your ambitions. Your actions need to map to your ambitions. So you look at your calendar, you look at where you're spending your time on a macro, on a whole, like step above, look at where you're going to be spending time in the next month. You say you want this, you say you want to be here, you say you want this out of life and this kind of business, right? You say you want these things. Amazing. I love it. That's inspiring and gives you hope and energy and motivation. Great. Now, are you doing the actions to help get you there? Where in your calendar, right, on a monthly or weekly basis, where are you spending the time? If you looked at your calendar from above, where are you actually spending your time to make that stuff happen? If there's no spot in your calendar, then chances are you're spending too much time on little things. They're still important to move things forward, but they're little. They're little for what you should be doing. And you'll never end up building the life and business that you want. Next year, you'll be in the same spot that you are right now because you spent your time overwhelmed by little things and never moving any of the big things that you want out of life forward. So your actions have to map to your ambitions. These are your ambitions. Show me your calendar where that's actually happening. Step number 2 is schedule for success. So now we've got a big picture of our calendar. Now narrow it down on a weekly basis. Look at what you're going to do from Sunday to Sunday. What days are you going to be doing what projects on? So I have my calendar where I do different things on different days. So today's a Tuesday. I'm recording all my YouTube videos on a Tuesday. That is an action that maps to my ambition, right? So back to step 1, I want to build my impact, right? I want to touch the world. I want to solve the world's biggest problem. I think YouTube is the best way to do that, right? That's my ambition. Great. Show me your calendar where you're actually spending time doing it, and how do you schedule for success? The second part, well, every Tuesday I spend a whole day on my YouTube channel. In the morning, I'm working now on my strategy, my research, my data, my analytics, and in the afternoon, I'm making videos for you guys, right? My actions are mapped to my ambitions, and it's in my weekly calendar. Because otherwise, I could want to be a YouTuber and have a big impact, but if I'm not making videos, it's never going to happen. So similarly, plan it down, like make it nitty gritty. If you can block off an entire day for something, amazing. If you can't do that yet, then block off chunks. Block off a 3-hour chunk to work on your project. Block off an hour chunk every week to work on your project. If you are consistently working on your ideas, on your ambitions, they are more likely going to happen. But if you never work on them, guess what? It's never going to happen, and it just remains an idea in your head. So make a weekly calendar for yourself. From Sunday to Sunday, where are you going to spend your time? What are the big projects that need to happen? And then block off those times and protect them. And nobody's allowed to get in the way of those things happening, because that's your life right there. Those are your dreams right there that you need to protect and safeguard. And step number 3 is pay attention to your energy. So this is what I look at on an almost daily basis, paying attention to your energy. It's one of the reasons why I shifted my schedule, so that in the morning I'm doing the analytical work, and in the afternoons I'm doing the more creative, outgoing work, because my energy is a little bit different. And so you can look at your energy across projects. If you're looking at this project, like I want to be a big YouTuber and have a big impact, awesome, but I don't want to make videos. Like maybe you need to switch your goals. Right? So look at the things that you want to do, and what are the ones that actually give you energy. When I'm making videos, after I'm done making videos, I have more energy than when I came in. This gives me energy. As much as I'm still afraid to do it, I'm still nervous you're not going to like it, I'm afraid of disappointment, it's my number one fear, and every time I get in front of the camera and make videos, it's another chance to potentially, disappoint somebody, and that kills me. But by the end of it, I'm always feeling better. I have energy. It's like, that was amazing. This is gonna help somebody. Let's go. So that should be your work, right? Not everything. There's tons of stuff you have to do on a regular basis in the business that you don't love, that sucks you dry, right? But hopefully those are not recurring things, right? Those are one-off things. The recurring stuff should be the ones that give you energy, that lift you up, that make you feel like this is worth it and you want to keep going. Pay attention to your energy daily.
George Bernard Shaw famously said, "The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man." The entrepreneurs who win are the unreasonable women and men who are trying to make a difference. You're different. You don't fit in. Stop trying to. Instead, make the world adapt to you. I want to tell you a story about Guan Yu and his Guan Dao. Let me get my prop. So, this is a heavy statue made of bronze. Let's hope my desk doesn't collapse from this. We good? Can we see? Okay, good. This is Guan Yu. Guan Yu is a legendary Chinese general, god of war, and he was a huge man in Chinese history. He was huge by stature, giant. He was bigger than everybody else that he was fighting against. So when he was getting started in fighting, when people gave him a regular sword or staff or spear, it was so light for him. It was too easy for him because he was such a giant beast of a man. And so instead of just taking the tools that everybody else was using, he made his own weapon called the Guan Dao. It's this crazy thing right here. It's this crazy, staff with a giant blade on the end of it. Guan Dao. Nobody else could lift this thing because it was so heavy. But he had it crafted for him because he could lift it, and it made him even more powerful than everybody else because he had this giant weapon that he was using in all of his fights. That's what I think entrepreneurs need to do. That's what you need to do. You are a genius. You are Michael Jordan at something. You are Guan Yu at something. The greatest fighter in China at the time, right? That's you at something. And for you to win, you need to have your own Guan Dao. You need to craft your weapon, craft your business, craft your habits, craft your activities, craft the people around you so that you can leverage what you're naturally great at. I make videos, right? I love having my own message. I love DJing content. It's what I love doing. I can make 4 videos a day across my channels because I have a team of people who help create all of this stuff. If it was just me doing everything, I would not be making the content that I am. I built the business around me, what I'm great at, what I love doing, what I want to continue to excel and improve at. You need to find the same thing for you. You are a Guan Yu. You are a Michael Jordan. It's time to embrace that. And then create something that hasn't been created before. That's what entrepreneurs are doing. Create your Guan Dao to let you do what you're so good at an even higher level. So I've got a 3-step process to help you believe more in your Michael Jordan Guan Yu level talent. I hope it helps. Step number 1 is trust your bold ideas. I believe that the ideas that come to you when you're feeling bold, when you're feeling confident, are actually the best things for you. When you're in a state of feeling like you're the best, you're full of motivation for whatever reason, whatever happened, maybe it's after watching this video, you feel like things are possible and you decide something, or you even come up with an idea for something like, I should go do that. That is the best idea for you. And then your head talks you down from it. Then you wake up the next day and say, oh, I can't do that. Who am I to do that? I don't have the resources, the skills, the time, the money, the connections to do that. I can't do that. And then with each day that passes, you feel less and less and less confident that you can do that. Your head talks you down from the big ideas. Hold on to them. The ideas that you come up with when you're feeling bold are the best ones for you. You have to chase those down. So the next time you get that bold idea, when you're feeling confident, trust in it, believe in it, chase it down. It's your duty, it's your obligation, it's your destiny, it's your future. Let's go. Step number 2 is think big, act small. This is where a lot of entrepreneurs fall down. You've got this big dream, big goal. You want to change the world. I love it. Yes, that dream you have to have that will motivate you and the people around you to keep going, because a lot of it is really hard. Without that big dream that you're chasing down, it's hard to stay motivated every day. And at the same time, you need to act small. Just start. Just take the smallest possible step and build momentum. The thing that's missing from so many entrepreneurs, from most of you, is not lack of ideas, it's not lack of genius, it's not lack of even ability, it's lack of momentum. You're just not doing enough. And so as soon as you get an idea, do something about it. You're thinking big, awesome, acting small. So you have that bold idea, amazing. What ends up happening to so many entrepreneurs is, well, in order for that to happen, I need to get venture capital. I need to get funding. I need to get a team. There's no way I could do it by myself. And you keep making that vision bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's inspiring, it's motivating, and it's scary. And it makes you feel like you can't do it without the right resources, connections, people, team around you. So to combat that, you need to get started. You just do it. You start. You want to start a YouTube channel? Amazing. Pull out a phone and go. Today, right now, immediate action. Let's go. Think big, start small. Don't worry about the lighting and the microphone and the camera and the gear and the people and the editing. It'll come with time. The biggest thing that's missing is momentum. Think big, act small. And step number 3 is remember the Wayne Gretzky rule. The Wayne Gretzky rule is you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. That's so many entrepreneurs. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs have come to me and they get upset because they see somebody else getting rich off of their idea. Somebody else is getting rich. Dummies are getting rich off of your idea. They're making money. They're having an impact off of your idea. The difference is they just did something. They got started. Where you're still thinking and planning and tinkering and writing your business proposal out instead of actually going out and doing. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to score a goal every time you take a shot. But the more shots you take, the better chance you give yourself of actually getting an outcome. Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome.
If you want to watch how to conquer your fear and alter your thinking, check out the video next to me. I think you can enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
If you want a breakthrough, if you want that dream life, you need to change the way you think about fear or it will handicap you for the rest of your life. So my biggest fear is disappointing people.